Better figure it out. Ooh, ooh. Bitch ass nigga better figure it out. Bitch ass, bitch ass nigga better figure it out. Lord. Damn. Mm. Well, the fuck is it? Hmm. Crazy. Oh, this is a live stream. Wake me up inside. What's up, man? We got another YouTube live stream. Kind of a rarity these days. You know, I try to stay from streaming on YouTube to keep from getting in trouble. I do most of my streaming on Twitch these days. For all three of you, but it has been working out. To be fair, all of my YouTube strikes are gone. I'm telling you, man, it's the streaming that would get me in trouble. Bot rigs. Oh Lord, I haven't really configured this correctly. Oh boy. Oh God. Oh fuck it. Damn. Bot rigs, welcome. Yeah, go check it out. Yeah, we're gonna be looking into this. But it's been down since yesterday, from what I heard. Now maybe it came back up. I don't think that's the case. Let me check it again. I'm gonna check it again real quick. 4chan.org. 4chan.org. All right. So let me bring up face and screen here. Oh, hold up. Before I do that, I better close out of my other browser. Lord, that's where all the porn is at. Oh, I don't want to get. I don't want to get banned. I don't want to get bizanned because some damn tranny porn popped up out of nowhere. Hold up. All right, there we go. I think I'm safe. Right. So this is wait, did I do it? I got short term memory issues. This is what 4chan looks like right now. So I'm gonna click on the anime and manga board. I've heard some people say that they were able to like get on it a little bit, but it was really slow. But let me read this article that talks about it. So suspected 4chan hack could expose longtime anonymous admins. Though the and so this happened April 15th. So this was yesterday. Though the exact details of the situation have not been confirmed, community infighting seems to have spilled out in a breach of the notorious image board. The anonymous image board 4chan has survived years of controversy. It weathered user and advertiser boycotts as well as damning accusations that it incubated hate speech that may have fueled mass shootings. Users have convened on 4chan to plan hacks like DDoS attacks and conspiracy theories that festered on 4chan, even reportedly inspired the January 6th insurrection at the United States Capitol. They giving 4chan way too much credit here. On Monday night and Tuesday, though the platform faced its latest test after a series of outages led to speculation that the site had been hacked. The core feature 4chan provides is public um, anonymity to post text and images. I always have trouble with that word. But the platform itself does collect information about users, such as their IP addresses. As a result, a breach of the website could represent a significant exposure of data that was intended to be private. So yeah, this could get interesting. Wouldn't it be so awesome if everybody's like post history got exposed? That would be beautiful, wouldn't it? 4chan is an anonymous message board that enables often offensive and hateful content. The content leaked, if genuine, would remove some of the anonymity from 4chan administrators, moderators, and janitors, says Ian Gray, director of analysis and research at the security firm Flashpoint. The image board's billing as an anonymous platform may have given users a false sense of security, Gray says. Some users may have registered their email addresses years ago when they were less aware or concerned about their operational security. So, this is kind of interesting because I've heard some conspiracies about this. Like, some people have been saying that with some of the information that has already been leaked, that some of the administrators or janitors have like .gov email addresses, basically insinuating that that 4chan was like a government honeypot, and that a lot of the posts and whatnot were from people who were designated to, influence the people who were posting on 4chan. Again, this is some conspiracy shit because I've heard people say, "Oh, that's what's happening," and I've heard people say, "Oh, that's bullshit." It hasn't been confirmed as far as I know, but that's part of the conversation ever since this hack has happened. So again, we go to 4chan here, and look, it timed out. Let's try it again. Right. So you guys go check out 4chan and see. Yeah, you guys can check it out and see what's going on. Yikers. Hate speech. I hate that term, hate speech. Why can't I hate you? That's what Patrice O'Neal said. Hate. That's why the whole concept of hate speech is so stupid, because it's basically saying that you can't hate something. You can't hate someone. Part of free speech is that you're free to love and you're free to hate. If you're only free to love, then it's not free speech. Free speech means that you're free to, love or hate who you will, 4chan had nothing to do with January 6th. Exactly. Like, that was way outside of the realm of what 4chaners were capable of, So that's that right in of itself is like pretty fucking ridiculous. Also, as you can see, I got. How do I get my chat to just like stick to the damn screen? That's why I got to do all this. All right, can we do it like that? Can I do this? Can I do this or not? Let me see your face. Oh. Yeah. I'm facing only now. Great. Long time no see. I mean, I'm here. I be on Twitch more, so I'm getting in trouble, but I'm around. I posted 3 times in 2019. Now I just learned. I don't post as much as I used to, but I have been going there more often recently. But I definitely don't post as much as I used to. But I've always felt like if 4chan went down, I would be sad about that. Because 4chan, regardless of what people say about 4chan, 4chan is one of the few places where you can have like some semblance of freedom of speech in terms of being able to express more like edgy and unpopular opinions, stuff that would be considered hate speech and whatnot. That's the cool thing about 4chan. That's why whatever criticisms people have of 4chan, I'll take the bad with the good. Because I think it's worth it. Because there aren't that many popular places online that you can go to and talk shit the way that you can on 4chan. I feel like 4chan is kind of like a necessary evil, to be real. But I've always felt like also that 4chan was too good to be true, right? I've also felt like it had to be some sort of like honeypot or being monitored by the government. Not just monitor. I'm sure the government is probably monitoring every popular website, but like like they're actually controlling certain aspects of how 4chan is ran or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tinfoil hat mode right now, but it is what it is. Registered an email. Well, I'm sure that the Jannies and whatnot, they have registered emails, but also you got to think about the 4chan pass users, and also remember they changed it so that if you're post now, I don't know exactly how it works, but I've seen it. For instance, like if I post on my computer, then I just have to do the captcha, right? But if I post from my phone, I gotta wait 900 seconds before I can make my first post, and then you don't have to wait that long. You can post regularly, right? And what they do is they allow you to bypass that 900-second wait by registering an email. So stupid people who aren't used to going to 4chan and they're introduced with that 900-second wait, they're gonna be like, oh, let me go ahead and register an email. So yeah, I think between the Jannies, the 4chan pass users, and the people who register the email to bypass the 900-second posting wait, yeah. So there you go. Several of them edu addresses. Yeah, I've heard that. You cannot express your emotions. We can't. We can't. Free speech is where exactly. People talk shit about 4chan, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It seemed organic in the beginning and then became a honeypot in the latest 2017. And especially now, sometimes when I'm on 4chan, I see posts that are like clearly AI. And I don't know if it's like a person trying to be funny, because people might ask a question, and then somebody might really go to like one of the AI chat bots or something and put the question in and then copy paste the answer and post it. But you know, people do shit like that. But how what's to stop people from running like an AI bot script from just like replying and posting threads and shit like that? I feel like with AI, it's going to get to a point where we don't really know what's real and what's fake in terms of who we are interacting with online. And especially a place like 4chan where you don't really have to make like a profile or verify anything. So, you know, that's part of the reason why I haven't really felt comfortable posting on 4chan as much recently, because if maybe it's in my head, but I have felt like the likelihood that I'm talking to a fucking AI bot is so high right now that I can't really get into having like conversations anymore on 4chan. It's just different. They want you to question reality itself. You sure you are an AI yourself? I'm not fucking AI. I'm not AI, but you might be AI. So touche. You're the AI, Bobby. Son of a bitch. Let me see here. Let's go back to the article. Let me scroll back over here. Reports about the apparent hack began circulating after a previously banned board on 4chan briefly appeared online, and the site was defaced with a message saying, "You got hacked." Subsequently, an online account on a rival forum known as Soy Jack Party. So we're going to go here because there's some interesting stuff here. This is like a rival site that I had no idea existed. That's where most of the interesting stuff is at. We're going to check that out next. Allegedly showing 4chan's backend systems plus a list of alleged 4chan administrators and moderator usernames with associated email addresses. Following this post of 4chan administrator email addresses, Soyjat party users started posting alleged doxes, including photos and personal information of the accounts included in the leak. Wired has not been able to confirm whether the data is legitimate. A press email address associated with 4chan, as well as two alleged administrator emails from the leaked data, did not immediately respond to Wired's request for comment on the hack and its validity. One of the site's moderators said that they believed the hack and leaks were real, according to a report by TechCrunch. Rumors also started circulating on Tuesday that the breach is the result of 4chan running legacy, unpatched software that exposed the platform to attack. After a breach a decade ago, 4chan founder Christopher Poole, known online as Moot, wrote in a blog post, "We spent and will continue to spend dozens of hours poring over our software and systems to help mitigate and prevent future intrusions." So something like this happened before. Emiliano Di Cristofaro, a computer science and engineering professor at UC Riverside who has researched the impact of 4chan on the web, says the ramifications could be large if the hack is confirmed. It seems true that 4chan hasn't been properly maintained and patched for years, which might indicate that a hack would have definitely been a possibility. So remember, the 4chan was handed over from Moot to the new owner, the Japanese guy. What's his name? Hiroshima. Hiroshima. I don't know. The Cristofaro says there might be some high-profile users exposed as moderators. Traditionally, 4chan users hate them, so they might be targeted. It might be hard or at least painfully slow and costly for 4chan to recover from this. So we might really see the end of 4chan as we know it. So there you go. Like, this is this could be pretty damn serious, man. This could be pretty damn serious. Oh, I should have. How do I get this damn thing? There we go. Wait, so if I do like this, and then I can just. Oh, yeah. Either way. Wait, how did that come up? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Whew. Yeah. Don't do that. All right. Oh, there it is. Wait, why can oh, let me try something real quick. Okay. Half of all the posts are bots or schizos who sit on theirs all day. Post quality has gone down like a plane crash the last 10 years. I think it also depends on where you go though. I know especially on like R9K is woo. Definitely not its best days. But I checked out A the other day and and the mecha board. Sir, I think some of the boards are pretty good. I think the boards that are the best are probably for like niche interests, like especially like a place like Mecca. I think like the worst boards are places like Pole and whatnot, like the ones that are just too popular and the subject matter tends to be very controversial. Like people have so much more incentive to troll on a board. Like of course but B is awful anyway. But a board like R9K, Pole, places like that, places I like, those are like the best breeding grounds for trolling and AI botting and stupid shit like that. But you go to like Mecca, it's man, I had me a nice G Gundam thread on Mecca. It was cool. Kimosabi, welcome. 4chan may be down forever. How do you guys feel about this? Starting to get nervous. Hope it's back up soon. And I wouldn't say I'm getting nervous, but honestly, I felt surprised that it's still up to be honest, because there's been so much attack against like being able to express yourself freely online. I've been wondering recently, like these past couple of months, like what the fuck is holding 4chan together? Because I don't think it's like a profitable site or anything like that. And I'm sure that the powers that be would love to find any reason to take 4chan down. Shit. And who knows? Maybe it is not just like some random hackers. Maybe there is like a significant player in the midst of this that wanted to take 4chan down, because like I said, it's one of think about like the popular websites where you can go to and talk shit the way you can on a place like 4chan. It's not that many. You can definitely find like niche sites like less popular sites, but 4chan is one of the top dogs, you know. And that's why I just, and maybe because my mind worked differently, but that's why I couldn't understand why people don't appreciate that aspect of 4chan. Like people feel like because you got like the racism and homophobia and misogyny and all that, that okay, well we got to get rid of it. Like nah, bro. Like I don't care what nobody say. We need, not need, but 4chan is a good thing to have just because of the 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 trajectory that we see most of these other sites on, like where it's getting more and more controlled and constrained. Like a place like Reddit, right? Man, I swear some of the subreddits I've been banned from is just fucking ridiculous. Man, I knew Reddit wasn't for me when I got banned from both of the small penis subreddits. I was like, what? Come on. I remember I got banned from the Forever Alone subreddit because I talked about how girls can't be forever alone. And I was like, oh, I definitely don't belong here. But yeah, Reddit is another one. Reddit is probably like best for its like if you either got to be like a NPC lefty type person or you're on the porn subreddit. Subreddit, I mean Reddit is for porn and left wingers, I think. More or less. Her at least it would be a couple weeks. Damn. Where were you when 4chan was killed? I was on X actually, because these days I be on X more. You know, I be on X a little bit more. And I saw a post about it on X, and I was like, "What?" And then I checked 4chan, and I couldn't get up there. And I was like, "Yep, it happened." Shit. 4chan was the last great hope for humanity. Let's not go that far. Let's not go there. But it was special. It was definitely special, you know. One of the few popular websites where you can really freely, damn near freely express yourself, like almost. Cause you still had to contend with the Jannies and shit like that. And this was a problem that I would run into, right? On R9K, for instance. Like you guys know that I'm a gooner, right? I don't even like. We gotta get a new name. I'm not going to adopt the name of the normies who try to put me down for masturbating. um, I gotta come up with a new name for that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But you guys know I jack off. I like porn, and so like just for instance, right? If I post interracial porn on R9K, I'll get banned because they're assuming that I'm posting it to troll, right? It'd be shit like that. That's the type of censorship that I got to deal with on fucking R9K, right? Because I just happen to post interracial porn, it's got to be a troll. But if I post like a white dude fucking a black girl, it's okay. If I fuck. If I post, a white guy fucking a white girl, it's okay, something like that. But if I dare post a black guy fucking a white woman, instantly I'm banned for 3 days because they assume that I'm trolling. And to be fair, I did it to troll like a few times. But only because they banned me. So then, then I get mad and I'm like, I'm gonna be petty and I'm gonna try to sneak some through. Oh man, but other than dumb shit like that, like, and usually like the censorship on 4chan would be like the pettiness of the Jannies, right? Like their own personal preference, things like that, like how they feel that day, and that's why some people don't like the Jannies because they don't really stick to like the law of the land, so to speak. Sometimes it gets personal with them, and I could tell that for sure. I could tell for sure that they would do stuff like that. Most boards are either on life support or 90% bot posts. That's scary, man. It was Glowies that took it down. Shardy is mostly Glowies. Wait, and UFC. What about UFC streams? They're gone? I don't really watch a lot of UFC streams though. This like the only like sports streams I try to find are like boxing or NBA playoffs, finals, stuff like that. Hey Goon, what up? In my opinion, the craziest outcome out of this was the confirmation that half of the admins mods were government academy affiliated. Now, have you confirmed that? Because I've heard that, but then also heard some people say that was bullshit. So I don't want to speak that as if it's the gospel, if, right out of the good book. But I've heard that too. I've heard that, but then I've heard people say, "Oh, that's not really, like that was hearsay." Why are you posting that? I like porn. Shit. I like porn. So I post porn. I post all types of porn. Big titties, fat ass. Interracial, black on black, white on white. All types of shit. I like porn. Y'all know this about me. I made time for it. That's a Carl quote from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Anything involving race outside of B or Poe is race bait. But I'm just saying there were like if just because I like posting porn, I would just happen to post something that was interracial and then they would instantly assume that I was trolling, It shows how like sensitive some people are about that shit. Like, oh, black guy fucking a white woman. I gotta destroy this. Like it's so silly. It's so stupid. I could post a white woman getting her throat demolished on facial abuse or something and crying and having flashbacks of being molested or something, right? And that's cool. But then I post a black dude sensually making love to a white woman and it's like, how dare you ban him, get rid of him, kill him, right? I get tossed off the fucking plank. Lord, man. Like they just assume that you're trolling because you're posting it. It's like, no, I like porn. I'm going through my porn folder, like trying to figure out what I'm gonna post to make this thread. I'm like, oh, here we go. That's nice. I'm not sitting there like, oh, the white guys are gonna be mad at this one. The white guys are gonna hate this. That's stupid. And then on top of that, like I'm a black guy with a small dick. Like that would make it even stupider for me to even like do fucking BBC posting. Like I don't even have a fucking BBC to brag about. Like that would just be fucking pathetic if I was doing that to make white guys who probably have bigger dicks than me and get more bitches than me mad. I just like posting porn. This is a stupid conversation. Maybe 4chan should go away forever. I just got back from the gym. One thing that I'm getting good at when I'm at the gym, I'm getting good at not looking at the girls' butts. Now, I'm not one of the obvious guys that just does it. Like, I'm not like just staring, but like I would find my spot, right? Like if they just happen to walk past, I would, and then keep it moving. But I'm not even doing that anymore. I keep reminding myself that, dude, why are you worrying about looking at these girls at the gym? You can see that times 100 at home on your goddamn, porn folder. You ain't got to be thinking about these hoes in the gym, bro. Like, go home. You're not gonna fuck them anyway. It's about the same. So why are you looking at them? Like, you can go home and look at it get bust wide open. So I'm very proud of myself though, because my self-control in the gym is just so elite right now. It's so elite. The fuck happened to 4chan? What's up, Seafood 901 Bay Sports? What? Yeah, it's down, man. Chad admitting to posting BBC. But I post porn without discrimination. I don't post porn to troll or get on anybody's nerves. It's just like because I like porn. The same way I post fucking anime pictures or something like that, or funny memes. I guess because like porn has become like the enemy of so many people now, and it's not for me. So I don't look at it like people like, oh my god, porn, ban the porn, and I'm not on that train, obviously. So I guess some people think it's a big deal to post porn, and I'm just like, Lord, like where is this coming from? To this day I don't understand it, but I guess it's because I've gained control over my porn usage. I masturbate sparingly. I masturbate responsibly, if you will. You know how you got people who drink alcohol responsibly? Like they don't get blackout drunk or drink and drive. They're not angry drunks. Like they drink the right time, the right way. That's how I do with porn. Now, my biggest issue with porn is that like I'm more into collecting than actually masturbating to it though. That's kind of where I'm at. That's my problem is like hard drive space. But other than that, I'm good. I swear last night, I put on some porn before I went to bed. I didn't go to bed. I think I was trying to take like a nap, and I put on some porn. I'm just laying in bed looking at it until I fall asleep. Right? It's the goon life, man. It's the goon life. Meant to say Reddit. Oh yeah. Reddit's good for finding those streams. Whenever I couldn't find one, I would type in Reddit boxing stream. He right too. Because you know the thing about 4chan, and this is, this is why I know some people really hate Reddit, but this is why I don't hate Reddit, even though it's not good for free speech. Reddit is really good for certain things. And it's like, if you go to 4chan, for instance, on like a big fight night, and you're like, where's the stream? Where's the stream? Like, somebody just gonna like insult you or something. Like, yo, fucking newbie, you know. Too bad, bitch. Right? You go to Reddit, and then they're gonna roll out the red carpet for you. Like, oh, you need a stream? Poor baby. Look. Well, here's my favorite website where you got a long list of streams, right? You can check this out. Now, here's a backup one that I go to just in case, because this one that I like goes down every now and then. So here's like my secondary, right? It's not my primary, but it's secondary. You check this one out too. Maybe this will work better for you, And this one has neatly kept like. Like, people on Reddit are so nice. You go to 4chan, like, can I please get the NBA final stream? Get out of here, bitch. Get out of here. Get your own damn stream. Oh man, I still love 4chan though, but 4chan takes no prisoners. Every now and then you have somebody cool. I'm not gonna act like it's always like that, but channers have a tendency to be assholes, right? And some of that kind of rubbed off on me, and I take that to other websites and get in trouble. I gotta remember sometimes I'm not on 4chan. I gotta remember, man. You don't find posting porn in general weird. No. No, Bobby, it's porn. The hell is like to me, I feel like you guys are the weirdos. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like y'all know I'm not getting no pussy whatsoever. I'm 32 years old and I don't even know what pussy smell like. I'm supposed to not be looking at the asses on. I'm supposed to not be looking at porn somehow. Lord, it's funny. Like to me, porn is as normal as drinking this goddamn water at this point in my life, right? But I guess because for me, it's not like some catastrophic detriment to my life. Look at me, I'm a fit, healthy man. I'm telling you, like people blame porn for every goddamn thing. Goddamn, if an asteroid was about to hit, people will blame porn for that. It's crazy. It's a you problem. It ain't porn. Shit. I feel like I'm a shining example of how you can fap to pornography. I got butt teeth, so it's hard for me to say certain words, but pornography responsibly. I'm a fit, healthy man, right? Got a good head on my shoulder. Look, you wouldn't even guess the things I've masturbated to looking at this handsome, this handsome. Like Lord, I'm telling you, it's not a big deal. You know, I don't like where is I don't get it. I think a lot of it is just trad larping shit though. Like I think people are so upset with like how the the pendulum swung so far to the left that now I think people are kind of like overcompensating. Cause I remember when it was cool to be more liberal, right? Like pro weed, right? Atheists and porn. And yeah, maybe it went a little bit too far, admittedly. But now I feel like people are overcompensating with the the trad cuck shit at this point. I'm not saying you gotta be sitting here with over a terabyte of porn like myself, right? I'm not saying you gotta do that. I'm just saying it's not a big deal. It was mostly the mods on Chud boards like Poll, K, V, TV, etc. that had their emails tied to the gov.edu sites. Whoa. I can't hear your I can't hear your audio. What? Can't hear my audio. This shit cranked up. Testing. I don't know, bro. This shit turned up, man. The rest of the mods on less popular boards were either Reddit mods, Discord mods as well, which is not as surprising. I can link a breakdown video. Oh, great. Yeah, do that. Great. Yeah, do that. It was hacked. Satori, what up? On Reddit Yu-Gi-Oh forums, people say we aren't here to answer your questions. Oh, damn. I guess they're like the elite nerds about that then. As someone who works in cybersecurity, Stam Leader, your name is familiar. It was 100% the mod's fault for being exposed after the hack. Also, Chad, are you going to be open in Discord? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I opened it for a little bit, and then it was only temporary, so y'all open again. People watch so much porn because they don't take cold showers. Man, fuck cold showers. I tried that shit. It ain't fun. It ain't nothing fun about cold showers. God, I feel like it's just more deprivation. I mean, look, maybe one day I'll do a month of cold shower. I'm all for getting out of your comfort zone. I get it, right? I got you. But damn, like out of all the self improvement shit that I've tried, that's one of the worst, bro. And I've done like 24-hour, 36-hour fasting while working out hard in the gym, like like dying, like dead, tired, fatigued from not eating in the gym. Like really put like I and that was more fun than a damn cold shower. I'd rather not eat food for 36 hours and then go to the gym and work out for 2 hours than to take one cold. I'll take that over one cold shower. At least that's a lot more fun. Cold shower is just nothing fun about it. Like there's nothing I can do in my imagination to make it fun at all. Usually I got a pretty good imagination. You know, I can imagine I'm doing like a fucking some sort of training arc in an anime or something. I can't do that with a cold shower. I just feel like a fucking moron. Sitting here cold. All right, let me go to that website though. Let me check out this website real quick. Don't go there. Right. I'm hope I don't run into any porn here. I don't want to get in trouble. But this is soyjack.st, and apparently they know a lot about this hack. So tonight has been a very special. I'm reading the Soy Jack. Tonight has been a very special night for many of us at the Soy Jack party. Today, April 14th, 2025, a hacker who has been in 4cut system for over a year executed the true operation Soy Clips, reopening QA, exposing personal information of various 4cut staff, and leaking code from the site. In an attempt to control the damage, 4cut admins have taken all servers offline, but there are unconfirmed reports that the servers have already been completely compromised and may not be up for some time. There's been a flood of refugees from 4cut onto the Shardy, most of whom are not adjusting well to the culture. For new teens, the few old guys that remain, and everyone in between, tonight has been a cathartic one. Okay. I wonder why they have it out for 4chan, though. But I gotta admit, as someone who appreciates a good dose of chaos, and as we used to say, do it for the lulz, I gotta appreciate what they did here. So, bravo. From that perspective, I gotta give it up. This is quite the spectacle. You guys are impressed, have impressed me, which isn't easy to do these days. This is look at this. Now, this is what I found very interesting. So apparently this is what the janitors or mods see. Look at this, right? So this is like their ban screen. So they see your IP address. 50 bans. What's that? I think when you get 50 bans, you get permaban. So they see your IP address, your location, when you were banned, when it expires. They set the length. 30 days, permanent warning, global. Banned by Chiba. So it's documented who banned the person. You can make it unappealable. But this is what I found interesting, right? There's a public reason and private reason. Now, I'm not going to read this because I'm on YouTube, but you guys can see it there. But I didn't know this. That's what really got me. And that's when I started to realize, oh, that explains like some of my bans. Because I think that there were probably times where I got banned for something that on the surface didn't make sense. But I think privately, and you know what? It's funny because I kept, basically, I realized this years ago, but the mods and the janitors, they actually like, they keep track of you and your post history. Cause I remember, I don't think I have the image anymore, but I used to have it saved. But basically, I had posted something about like being like I think I was like a 26 or 27-year-old virgin or something, right? And then later on in a different thread, somebody had replied to me and said, yada, yada, 26, 27-year-old virgin. I was like, wait a minute, like how would this person know? I posted that in a whole different thread. And that's when I realized that the janitors and the moderators, they actually like they keep track of who is posting, right? And not that I give a damn. I still post all my dumb shit regardless, right? But yeah, I already knew they were doing that, but this actually makes it make more sense because with the private reason, now it's like basically what they're doing is it shows that they're paying attention to who's doing what. And so they'll give you like the surface reason for your ban, but the private reason probably has more to do with how they've been tracking you and tracking your behavior, right? So for instance, if I got banned for posting interracial porn, then they might give me like some bullshit reason to ban me, right? Like I'm trolling. But then the private reason will be, oh, we know I noticed him posting this at 9 o'clock every Sunday, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that's what I did, but it makes sense. But this was crazy that this came out right here, bro. Like this is one of the most like interesting parts of this to me. So this seems to be like more of a look into the view of what the moderators or the janitors see. Um, Janitor and moderator discussions. Oh, so they have like a private board for discussing. I got you. Okay. Damn. That's crazy. Damn. Like I guess we all knew that this was happening behind the scenes, but I guess for me it's just kind of weirder to like see it just laid out like this. Cause you kind of realize that there's like this secret class of 4chan users that know everything that you've been posting, right? It hits differently for me because I've posted my social media links on 4chan, right? So they can connect all the dumb shit I posted to my face. But again, it don't matter because you know uh, I'm always talking about the dumb shit I do anyway, so it's not a big deal. But imagine if you had something to hide, right? Then that would be pretty crazy. Why is everybody called Chud? Damn, y'all really want to be different like that? I don't know where this is from, but let's see. What is this? Obviously, 4chan, there has been a hack. The site itself has been halted until we can determine the damage. It's likely that email addresses have been leaked, perhaps IPs as well. You'll need to hold on to those email accounts in order for us to do a password reset once the site is back up. So don't delete. So it seems like this person was deep, deep undercover, bro. Like Lawrence Fishburne, deep cover mode. Yo, this guy had a wire on and everything. He was in the Discord. So I think this is like the janitor's Discord. Hoping the damage isn't too bad. Shit's a little concerning. I used an active email when I applied because I was hammered. I think it's more important to worry about what your email address is connected to. If you use that email address for LinkedIn or Facebook or GitHub or whatever else, stay safe out there. You can set it up to use the authentication app without needing to give your phone number. That's what I did. Damn. Damn. That's crazy. Where are the emails? How many of these guys are funded by BlackRock? Good thing I never verified my email to bypass the 15-minute post timer. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he noticed this too. Public reason, Yep, I'm going to. Yep, public reason rule. I'm going to hide behind private reason why I didn't like your post exactly. And I noticed there were times where I got banned and it didn't make sense, and it felt just like that. It felt just like that. So some people are gonna have like a vendetta or a grudge against these janitors, bro. That's kind of the problem because of doing shit like that. I don't care because I already know that when you got regular people moderating, especially a place like 4chan, the bar of entry probably isn't that high, so they get some weirdo people who have like an ego about I'm a janitor on 4chan. So of course they're gonna do some stupid shit. So I ain't tripping over it, right? They done me dirty a couple times, but I don't want to see nobody get doxxed or fucked with over that. It ain't like they did nothing serious. So it'd be unfortunate if any of them got, in trouble or put in a sticky situation over, fucking 4chan beef. It's fucking stupid. Oh man, y'all were posting up a storm. Pretty sure the hackers said there were no government emails. So I don't know where you see. I'm saying that I heard both. I heard some people say there were gov emails, and then people saying there weren't. So that's why I kept saying that it's not confirmed. But I've heard people saying that there were, and I've heard people like yourself saying that there weren't. So I don't know. I'm just putting information out there. But I did see something interesting. Hopefully, I'll find it in that thread because it's gonna it's gonna kind of like give credence to the idea that 4chan was like a government honeypot trying to like influence things and for whatever fucking reason. But hopefully, I'll run into it again in that thread. We're gonna go back there in a little bit. I'm just catching up with the comments. That's what the Gov emails told the hackers to say, Richard. See, the conspiracy is it never ends. Also, I knew this was going to happen 3 days ago. The plan was already leaked on X. What? Richard, give us a quick rundown. Richard got the scoop. Hell yeah, Chad, copy this G into. Dude, I don't want to copy that. That looks sketchy. And paste it into the YouTube search bar. Should be the first result. Oh, I thought that was like some weird shit. Hold up. Let me just catch up with the homies. Long live me. Do you want to have kids? We talking about 4chan. We ain't talking about kids. I gotta get a girlfriend first. Y'all skipping levels, man. Y'all don't skip the damn green zone. You skip marble zone. You skip the fire stage, the ice stage. Like, you trying to send me straight to dream world. Damn. Shadow world instantly, bro. We got to get through the training mode first. They want some kids. Right? We got to figure out if I'm ever going to be able to get a girlfriend, first of all. That's the first step. Let's get some pussy first. Oh, man. You know what I noticed though? I feel like um the only women that like me are like older women. And I mean like older. Right? Like old, like I noticed like women in their 50s and 60s, like they find my goofiness somewhat endearing. Like they look at me as being like a dumb stud or something like that. Now you guys know I'm not dumb, but I don't really express my intelligence. I'm just out and about. I'm because I'm kind of introverted, so I don't really get in like deep conversations or nothing like that. I've really leaned into my goofiness when I'm talking to girls. Right? It's a habit. But I noticed that like the only women that seem to find my personality endearing are like older women. Women my own age, they just be like, oh man. You know what's funny? I told the story about when my friend I ran into him and he was with a girl and she immediately pegged me as being like his goofy friend, and she literally said goofy. And I was like, damn, so girls really do see me as being goofy. And then I was in the pawn shop, right? And then it's like this older lady, like in her 40s or something, that works in there. And we were like chopping it up. And she said the same thing because I made a joke and I was like, can't you tell I'm like a badass? And she was like, no, you're like a goofy guy. But yeah, you're not going to get pussy as a goofy nigga. That's the point of this story. I heard it from a guy named Lucifer in Nobody Jen. The hackers are allegedly from Soy Jack Party. Yeah, we were just there. I didn't even know about this site. I know about it now. Shardy doesn't like 4chan because they shut down the QA board. What's the QA board? I feel like I heard about it, but I don't remember what it was for. What was the QA board for? That's why the hackers brought back QA and shut down everything else. Where will our new home be? Ray Tucker, welcome to the stream. I'm permabanned from 4chan. Fuck the Jannies. I was permabanned too. I got 50 bans because when I needed a break from 4chan, I would post like porn on blue boards just to intentionally get banned for like I need a 3-day break. I'm posting on 4chan too much. Post porn on the blue board, get a couple laughs, get banned. I didn't know once you got 50 bans, you got permaban though. So I was permaban. But we changed internet service providers out of the blue one day. And so my IP address was different. And that's how I was able to start posting on 4chan again. I didn't mind being permaban because it just meant I wasn't, bullshitting on 4chan as much. Right? Because if I had an issue with anything, it was shit posting on 4chan. That was way more serious than my porn habit. So I didn't mind being permaban. It was shocking at first, but then I was like, this is for the best. Right? This is for the best. It's like when you get taken to jail, not that I would know, but I've heard stories like people going to jail and then they get off drugs and all that shit because they can't get to it no more and they come out clean. Shit like I think that happened to Bobby Brown. I think I think there was a story like he went to jail for a while and when he got out, like he didn't want to do cocaine anymore. But Whitney Houston had, his wife picked him up and she had cocaine in the car. So immediately there was like a rift between them because he came out clean and she was immediately like, let's get high, darling. Let's get fucked up now that you're out, baby. Bobby and Whitney. Rest in peace, Whitney Houston. What a voice. What site are you guys using now? Again, I told you, these days I'm on X a lot. I'm not even like chanting that hard. Is WizChan still down? Let me check WizChan. They still down? That's unfortunate if they are. Nope, they up. Shit, WizChan is up. I wonder if they're talking about the shutdown though. I'm not gonna bring up my screen right now because I don't know what I don't know what I'm running into on WizChan. Are they talking about it? Autism doesn't exist. Chaos magic. What quality? I need to come here more often. I don't come here enough, Because WizChan is actually pretty cool. But they're not talking about this. That's kind of surprising. Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure WizChan. I heard they were down, so I was a little worried. It's good to see they still up though. I bought the pass. Fuck this BS, Mark. I'm not a beta or a virgin anymore. I know you started taking steroids and fucking. Well, you been fucking bitches, but you took steroids, grew 12 inches. Now you're 285 pounds of pure muscle, and you're about to save the galaxy. Last I heard. Eventually got with a female to male with pussy. I'm a bodybuilder now. Okay, I mean, as long as she doesn't have a beard, because it's some female to males out there that are just like, female to male, but you're just a female with fucking army fatigue pants on and a short haircut. Some of them female to males are just tomboys that just tomboys with extra steps, basically. So I'm assuming you got one of them. and not like a fucking female to male with like a that look like me, right? A bitch that look like me, basically, right? And so she'll have like scars right here. I'm hoping that's the case, Dubs, because you can do better than a girl that look like me. The R9K Jannies are the worst of them all. Oh yeah, I know. I know. Lord have mercy, do I know. They've done me dirty. And to be fair, I've been an ass hat on R9K for years. You know. I every now and then I make a good thread, but I'm definitely one of those guys that likes to make stupid threads like over and over and over again. So I can't blame him to a certain extent, you know. In a way, I deserved it. Right? In a way, I deserve. But I've seen how they can be petty too. They don't just again stick to the law of the land. They get personal. And I think that's where the issue comes when like you're no longer just doing your job, it's personal now because you're tracking and following people and shit. And so then it gets personal and yeah. I'm sad to say no name. No name. I'm sad to say I became a shardy cuck. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, when I found out about this, I checked that website out. It don't seem that bad, you know. I didn't know about it. I miss 8chan. That's what I miss. Oh man. I think there is a version of 8chan up, but not the original 8chan. That was crazy. Current cycle 300 D. Oh, we got it. We got it, Dubs. I know. You know, when the meteor hits, we're gonna call you, and you're gonna leap into the sky and punch that bitch back, back into space. Now, Dubs has really had quite the life. You know, he's been homeless, banging traps in college, been in, halfway houses. Now he's a bodybuilder. Dubs, you should start streaming like everything that you do. Now that I think about it, you should be like these new streamer guys like Duke Dennis, DDG, Kai Senate, I Show Speed. You should start doing that because you seem like a super extrovert. You know, you seem like a super extrovert, so you could do stuff like that. I plan on streaming more going into the future, but like live streaming every day out in the world, that's you got to be again a super extrovert to do some shit like that. I think you should do that, Doug. That's my recommendation to you. You need to just start streaming everything every day, bruh. Cause the shit you done told me, Lord, Lord have mercy. Yep, he got this yeah, Ziz. Come on, bro. You need to follow the new live streamer blueprint of just live streaming everything. Like when you go to the gym, when you go to the fucking Dollar Tree, when you go to the dark alleyway to pick up your steroids and shit. Like whatever, man. Like you need to do that. You need to get on that. Also, these people didn't update the site infrastructure since like 2012. Okay, so basically their defenses were not up to date, so it was easy to exploit. That's what you're saying. They got hacked with a PDF. Lord. I hope 4chan comes back soon. I do too. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is go to the Mecha board and 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 just hug everybody. I think it's the first thing I'm gonna do. I started watching Chad Marco when I was 18, fat as fuck and short, and had a glow up. I'm the OG of the channel since How to Be a He is. Fillet him. Bring Dubs women right now. He's a good friend. Bring him some whores and some grapes. Because they didn't even validate it was actually a PDF. The fucking amateurs, bro. The fucking amateurs. I lost my V card 10 years before him in terms of age. Yeah. That shit seemed stupidly hopeless at 18. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, Dubs Ben outdid me when it came to the and he did it looking like a I mean he did it looking like a somebody's like infected like big toe. I mean, no offense, because you got way more play than me, so you got something going on there. But I mean, it just goes to show, just having a handsome face, just ain't enough. Just ain't enough. I miss my robot friends. Rip R9K, yeah, Rip quit 4chan after getting a job and no longer being beta. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people they just get out of it. I don't go there as much, but you know, I don't know. I guess for me, I just never found a reason to just stop going completely. Because there's just something unique about discourse on for. In fact, yeah, I mean because you really can't have those conversations that you can on 4chan a lot of different places, and just like the structure of it too. Right. It's kind of like if you go to X, for instance, like, yeah, you'll see threads of like different topics, but then it's like you'll look at it and like the main topic was made like 14 hours ago. And then this guy you want to respond to last, like he posted his response 10 hours ago. So you don't even know if he's going to respond. Like with 4chan, you see an active thread and you can participate in it right now. So as far as like active discussions, to me, it's one of the better places. Reddit, we already know why Reddit is a problem. Other than like Discord, where it's like, like just complete active engagement because, right, you just chatting with the people in the Discord. But other than that, there's not a lot of places where you get like that kind of like rapid response, right? You make a thread, masturbate for like 20 minutes, come back, you got a couple responses, then you respond to them, and then depending on how that goes, or you can participate in a thread that's really rolling. Like 4chan is pretty active, you go to the right places. And I think that's why I still end up using 4chan, because I know that I can get engagement with what I want to talk about, right? If I want to talk about G Gundam right now, I can go to the Mecha board, right? I'm probably not gonna have an in-depth discussion about G Gundam on fucking X, or Instagram or something like that. Maybe Reddit though. Reddit might be one, but even then, Reddit tends to be slower. Never underestimate gay ops. Yeah, yeah. I can imagine using 4chan while tripping LSD and shit would give me a bad trip. I think one of the guys I worked with came to work on shrooms or something. He was acting like really weird. He went outside, then came inside and punched a hole in the wall. It's just weird, motherfucker. Most people have dynamic IPs now. I wonder how they connect the posts. Does 4chan use cookies or something? I think mine is static. Like mine isn't just always changing. Unlucky me. 4chan used to be 24/7 thing before job. Yeah. Oh man, like now that I'm working, time management is always a challenge. I feel like I got just enough time to do what I want to do, but I definitely don't got time to be bullshitting on 4chan the way I used to. That's for sure. I got time to bullshit on the stream though. Chad Marco, I know someone already asked this, but what do you think about the fact that Israel had about 50% more posts on 4chan than the entirety of Europe? I saw that and I was gonna bring that up. But to me, that's proof. Like, dude, it's no way that Israel has more posts, that many more posts than America. Dude, I don't know if it's Mossad or what government agency in Israel is doing that shit. But that's not just ordinary people posting, bro. Like that is a concentrated effort to influence culture or the people on 4chan. I saw that. And if that's real, like maybe it's like is that confirmed? Like was that like a bullshit image or something? You can doctor anything. So I want to throw that out there too. Because I saw it and I was like, okay, that's crazy. But it could be bullshit. Because, shit, everybody goddamn paint.net or Photoshop. So whatever. But if that's true, then I feel like that is such a potentially like that could it would explain so much. It would explain so much. That's so weird when you think about it, bro. That is like super weird. Like damn. And all these conspiracies surrounding Israel right now at the moment, like that just adds to it, bro. Because Israel is like in the spotlight in terms of like all many different conspiracy theories, not just the conflict in Gaza, but connecting Israel to the JFK assassination, their nuclear weapons program, connections to Jeffrey Epstein, who was apparently a Mossad agent. It's like it's some craziness coming out of Israel every other week, bro. Just it never ends, you know. And I saw Myron Gaines was on the Alex Jones show, and Alex Jones was like talking about people being obsessed with Israel and all that. And I'm just thinking like, bro, this is the type of shit. Why? Because it's like every goddamn week, it's another conspiracy that comes out about Israel that's just as interesting as the last. That's why people are kind of glued into this, and this just adds to that. Like it's crazy. Are you guys using alternative websites or just waiting for 4chan to come back? I mean, I'm pretty much just waiting, but again, I've been Xing hard. Like X has been like my go-to site these days. So that's why I'm not like too bothered by it, because I kind of just haven't been on 4chan as much as I used to. I'm just more so upset because of the value that I attribute to 4chan based on the leniency that they give to people expressing themselves there. You can't have conversations on other websites the way that you can on 4chan. So if it's down for good, that would be a truly unfortunate in my opinion. And then again, it's a very popular site, and you got all the trolling and negativity and hate speech aside. When you have a particular interest, they have good boards for discussions about those interests. And so that would be unfortunate for to lose that. When you want to have conversations about sports, anime, video. Oh God, V, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm sterile, Marco, unable to reproduce, as sterile as a tranny from Trend. Are you sterile forever? For good? That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. Use Crystal Cafe like a real man. Maybe I should. Jim Plan, welcome. We are finally free. At what cost, though, Jim? We lost the mothership. We lost the mothership. Now we're stranded on Reddit and X and Instagram. Of course, 4chan is a honeypot. They're not going to use Gov emails, though. Damn. And I was thinking about doing a whole podcast investigating whether or not 4chan is a honeypot. But, I'm not going to sit here and act like I knew for sure. But I've heard people say it. I just wasn't certain. But, like, what kind of tipped me off was just, like, the fact that 4chan exists in of itself. And knowing that it's not really popular. I mean, not that it's not but it's not profitable. At least as far as like from what I always heard, I was like, why is this up? I like 4chan, but why does this shit is like who is maintaining this? I know this one Asian dude, fucking Hiroshima. I know I know he ain't just like doing this off the strength of it just because he want to, bro. Like it's something off with this. Something ain't right about this. Overhead shoulder press too. Oh, now Dubs is gonna brag about his weightlifting. Dubs, we are impressed. I got you. 315 for three. Okay, shit. 225 for five. Pussy ain't worth it, Chad. Well, I know that. that's why. That's why I'm still a virgin. I know that. It's not about the pussy. It's about the quality of the relationship, the character of the woman, compatible lifestyles, right? Dude, I'm telling you guys, I was this close to getting a girlfriend though, but she would have been ugly. That ugly girl that worked at the gym, it was crazy because she had almost everything in terms of like character, personality, compatibility. Like we were just damn near matched mentally, right? The only problem was I didn't really find her physically attractive. That was the problem, right? She won't fat, but she just to me she like a gremlin. So that's the only thing about it. But I think also she got like a super ick when I told her that I kind of like Donald Trump. Like that. Oh boy, the look on her face when I said that. But she had a boyfriend anyway. But I'm telling you, I truly believe if that girl didn't have a boyfriend, she would have been my first girlfriend. Like I was like literally, I'm telling you that close. I was right there, man. I was right there. It's hard finding a girl that with like a compatible personality with a guy like me though. Most girls are just so normy. I gave her steroids. You gave her steroids. Don't give a. Why are you giving a girl? Don't do that. Same here because older whams were not as brainwashed as younger. Oh, you said women. Okay, I got you. There was a guy on X and nobody general named Lucifer ranting about exposing the Jannies and that everything is going to be revealed and on for dozens of posts until he got banned. Wow. So they knew it was coming. That's crazy. It was X. So you think he's just schizo, but well, now we're here. Well, but I think since they banned him, they probably knew that there might have been some credence to what he was saying, right? Unless he just was somehow breaking the rules or whatever. Get an older bitch to hook up with you, Chad. You can. I don't want no 50-year-old bitch. I don't want no 50. What the hell? I want no 50. What the hell am I gonna do with a burnt out, crusty, post wall, past the prom, over the hill bitch? I can't do nothing with that. 50? Bro, I can barely do something with 30. Man, I remember when I was on Bumble, right? And when I was like swiping and I noticed that most women over 30, like the difference between women in their 30s and 20s. Oh my God. Yo, forget about it, bruh. Like, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, like me, maybe because like I'm transitioning into my older age very gracefully. Right. So I can't hold them to my standard, you know. But I'm telling you, man, like when you look at girls in their 20s versus 30s on average, like even women in their 30. It's like, damn, you look old. You look done. It's like you already just look like you're decaying. It's bad. It's bad, bro. It's bad. I'm not saying there aren't women in their 30s that still look good and whatnot, but I mean, the difference, bro, is so significant. It's a significant difference with like women in their 20s and 30s to the Lord, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Cause God, he was specifically talking about doxing and not caring if he was banned. Okay. Isn't it because QA rated LGBT and mods got mad or something like that? What was QA again, though? I don't think anybody ever told me what QA was. The mods are always as mad about something. I've been tripping on a lot of acid. Oh, that sounds fun, Dubs. Just be careful. You know, I want you to go on a trip and come back to us. Come back. Come back. There's nothing like Forge. Exactly. It's special, man. The female to male I had was a butch lesbian that liked men. Lord. I need my safe space back. It'll be back maybe. And Ganter, welcome. Sad news, I know. Let me check again. Let me check there again just to be sure. Make sure that I ain't tripping. Let's try to get there again. So I'm gonna try to go to poll. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. We still down. We still down, man. What do you make of the Vitaly Philippine situation, Chad? I think he'll be put away for years. I saw something about that. Oh wait, it is? No, that's a ooh. Okay, that's the porn tab. Let me get out of there. Okay. Um, I'm spelling this wrong. Russian American YouTuber. Uh, okay. Let me bring this screen up for y'all. I think the first time I saw him, he was doing like that thing where you talk to a girl and then she rejects you, and then you walk to your then he'll walk back to a sports car, and then the girl will try to like talk to him. Those are probably setups, to be fair, but I think that was how I was introduced to this guy. He could face 24 years in a Filipino prison. The man who streaked during the 2014 World Cup final could face more than 2 decades in prison for latest antics. Kid streamer Vitaly, I'm not even going to try that. Known online as Vitaly's TV, made global headlines when he stormed the field of Maracana Stadium during Germany's 1-0 win over Argentina with his shirt over his head to show off the phrase natural born prankster. That is so cringy. God, it would have been better if he just had a fucking swastika or something on his like Lord. Natural born prankster? God, dude, you could have did better than that. Man, the internet personality blew kisses to the crowd before running towards the players, attempting to plant his lips on. Oh no. That's not even a prank. That's just disrespect. You trying to kiss another girl. See, now, I don't know, bro. Like, he off the rip, I'm thinking you deserve it. I don't like guys like this, to be honest. Like, I'm all for, real life streaming and all that. And maybe even like setting up some funny situations. But I feel like we've entered the zone of people willing to do anything for clicks and views. And it works. It works. You know, that's part of the reason why I struggle to grow, because I'm not willing to just do whatever the fuck, you know, is necessary to get attention. But I've always been against stuff like this, because I feel like, again, the desperation for clicks and views and fame is making people do the dumbest shit. And even worse, when people start disrespecting others in the pursuit of that fame, right? And if you're gonna go streaking, at least do something funny. Natural born prankster. God, dude. That's probably the worst thing you could have wrote on yourself. The 33-year-old is set to face criminal charges after being arrested at Bonifacio Global City on April 2nd after allegedly harassing members of the public and security guards during a kick live stream after being detained at the Camp Bagong Diwa facility in Bikutan. He was presented to the media for the first time since his arrest by Philippines Interior Secretary Yanvic Remula. During the presentation, Remula said people have to take responsibility for the content they create. It is not a license to shame or to hurt or to besmirch anyone. Exactly. Thank you. Fuck him. Remula added that there will be no special treatment for him, and that he will face criminal charges in the country. It's just like that guy Johnny Somali, whatever the fuck. Like, just an asshat going around taking advantage of the fact that you can go to these countries where the people are very polite, maybe too polite, and then you can fuck with them and get away with it. Like, I don't respect that. There's nothing respectable about that. Again, it is the desperation for fame, bro. The desperation for clicks and views got people doing the dumbest shit. And again, it's some of it, I'm with it, right? But I feel like when you start involving other people, you know, yeah. Vitali engaged in multiple disruptive and inappropriate acts, including attempting to kiss and grab him, trying to seize his service firearm, taking pictures of him without consent, mocking up. See, nah, bro. See, that's what I'm saying. We need this. We need this to shut this shit. You got to shut this shit down, bro. Like, one of these guys needs to be made an example of, bro. According to YouTuber Atozi, who broke down his situation, Vitali could face up to 24 years in prison if found guilty. I don't think that's going to happen. I doubt that. Others suggest that he may spend at least 3 years behind bars before his case even goes to trial, with one social media user writing, he will remain in prison for 2 to 3 years, during which his trials are expected to last. If found guilty, he will likely be sentenced around 2027 to 20 to 8. Yeah, man. What can I say? Like, I'm not mad at it because I'm tired of this shit too. Shit, I got sprayed with a fucking water gun over somebody's stupid fucking prank. So I'm a victim of this bullshit. Somebody sprayed me with a water gun one time for a goddamn fuck Instagram clip or whatever the fuck. So hell no, fuck this guy. Again, man, it's people gotta, again, man, do what you can to blow up or whatever. But when you start disrespecting other people, you kind of, you're going too far. You're going too far. Find a way to get your clicks without involving or, upsetting people around you. 4chan down and Guru graduates. What's Guru graduates? Guru? Who the fuck is Guru? What the hell is Guru? I've taken LSD, shroom, DMT, LSA, are the pure psychedelics with positive effects, such as making you feel what things are regardless of your ego, and they generally increase positive habits. I mean, but I've heard people have bad trips on shrooms too. Never forget the guy who was shrooming out in his grandma's house, and the police had to come hold him down, and he was sitting there like, "I forgive myself for eating meat. I forgive myself for eating meat. I forgive myself." He was in a dark place there. He must have been feeling guilt about not switching over to the vegan lifestyle. 4chan confirmed kosher. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Dubs, I'm glad you're enjoying your drug use, man. The Israel thing sounds fake, like the .gov address. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I saw the image. But you got to be careful with just believing anything that you see on the internet nowadays. It's just, but between what you can do with AI and Photoshop and whatnot, you got to be careful. Like I seen that, and I know it's great to add that to the Israel conspiracy pot, but I want a secondary source. I'd expect more in India or China or Russia. Actually, not Russia, more like Ukraine. Okay. There are a lot of NAFO cells on K constantly shilling for Zelensky. I heard that. I don't go to K, but I've heard people say that, K is kind of like pro Ukraine or something, which I found kind of weird, right? I'm not saying you got to be pro Russia on the flip side, but when you understand the dynamics of what caused the war to start and things to escalate, you don't really take sides. You don't really end up taking sides. You just kind of be like, oh, well, I kind of get what Russia is doing. This is a fucked up situation. If anything, it makes you hate America more because of our nonstop meddling that does nothing but cause more wars and destruction across the world. My lord. Guy at your work was on DXM or PCP probably if he was confused and angry and lost. I thought it was Coke personally, but yeah, he was, man, like, look, so he came to work late and then he was there for an hour and then he said, I can't take this anymore. And he left. And so everybody thought that he quit. And he came back the next day and said, I want to return. And so he worked for an hour and then he said, I can't take this shit anymore. And then he left. And then the supervisor said, don't come back. It was a weird motherfucker. And you know what? The crazy thing about him was like, he was super polite. So nice. He was so polite and nice. I thought he was gay. Right? He was that nice. I was like, yo, this guy is like tuna. But he had this look in his eyes though. It was in the, like it was like this look of like he's seen shit. Right? Like he's seen things and had experiences that he might not want to talk about. But he was really nice, but weird as fuck. Punching holes in the walls and shit. God, I swear. I like my job though. What a reminder. You trying to tell me something? Ah, I did need that. Damn. I told myself I was going to do a 24-hour fast. Now I don't feel like it. I want to eat some chips before I go to bed. Damn. Damn. Fuck. What should I do? Didn't most people on 4chan say the site was a honeypot? Yeah, I mean, it was said often, right? So I'm just saying, I never saw a proof of it. I never saw a proof. And I'm like, honey potting for what? What you honey potting for? Like every now and then they would scoop up some guy that would threaten, like do like a threat, like I'm gonna shoot this up, or I'm gonna do this. But that would happen on any site. You go to any online forum or website and make a threat that you're gonna do something to someone or do something somewhere. Police are gonna have to take that seriously. So in that regard, every place is a honeypot, because if you start talking crazy, then police gonna be knocking on your door. Right? So I'm just thinking, like, what are you honeypotting? What are you trying to get? You know? Okay, so 4chan is a honeypot. What's the goal? Right? Let's talk about that. What's the goal? I want your opinion on that. What's the goal, right? You want to know what, I don't get it. I don't get it. I would figure, if like my first thought is influence. That's my first thought, is like trying to play with people's perceptions of reality, maybe. Or maybe it's like just, I don't know, like watching how people react to certain events or news. Almost like, to me, it would have to be more like about data gathering, or experimenting or something like that, more so than anything else. Because it's not like you're getting any important people on 4chan, right? Like, you're not gonna have like some big drug bust from 4chan, or like find a arms dealer, right? At best, you'll get some guy living in his mom's laundry room, making threats or something, some crazy shit like that. But, or somebody posting like cheese pizza, right? But again, is that worth the the money and the operation to go get him? Again, it's like, I don't get the purpose of it. 4chan would never be allowed to exist if it wasn't a honeypot. Now that I can believe, and that part I definitely believe. That makes sense, because if nothing else, that's what I always questioned about 4chan, especially once it passed hands from Mu to Hiroshima. I know that's not his name, but I'm gonna call him Hiroshima from here on out. Hiro Kun from Buster Groove, Hiro Kun. But yeah, yeah, and that's one thing that you notice too, right? About social media sites. Sometimes, like, it's like every popular social media site has to be under the control of the government somehow. If not the government directly, then somebody that is like government approved. Like, imagine if the guys who made YouTube never sold it to Google. They probably would end up dying in a plane crash or some shit like that. There was no way they would have allowed them to hold on to that. Like, I feel like it seems like every popular site has to be scooped up and brought into the control of our government and who they want to run these social media sites. Just like TikTok, right? It's very much the same situation, where you have a popular social media site that's not under their control. So what do? They try to find an excuse to either get rid of it or to bring it into their control. It's like every popular social media site has to be under control by the government, or the people appointed by the government to control these things for them. And especially now, when you look at the current administration, where you see so many of like these like tech billionaires and stuff like that involved, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, what's the guy, Jeff Bezos, people like that. You see them rubbing elbows with Donald Trump. I think they were there at his inauguration. Things like this is not a coincidence. And I feel like that's kind of like the unfortunate thing about online spaces, is that, and I've talked about this before, but online spaces are more and more becoming um like relevant in everybody's life. It used to be it was for like the young people to be on MySpace, or like the creepy gay dudes to be hooking up on Craigslist and shit like that, right? But now everybody, damn near everybody is involved in social media. I even like catch my mom upstairs on her phone watching YouTube videos and YouTube shorts and shit like that now. And even posting like comments and stuff like that, right? So and my mom is like the most tech illiterate person you ever meet, but even she's into it now. And but the difference between like online and real life is that your First Amendment rights aren't really protected online, because these are considered private companies, so they can control and set the rules about what you can say. You can't say this word. This is hate speech. This is misinformation. And it's become absolutely mandatory, I think, for our government to control that, because it's become a way to basically control the flow of information. And the other thing too, when you look at the rise of alternative media, people don't want to just sit around trusting CNN or Fox News, or watching stuff like that for their news anymore. Even going back to my mom, back in the day, she was always watching CNN, CNN, CNN. Now, she's finding out about different people like Dr. Umar, Dr. Umar Johnson and whatnot, or the Art of Dialogue, and all these different sites, or YouTube channels, or personalities. And now she's getting information from you know many different sources outside like mainstream media. And but that's why I feel like something really bad has to happen, or something really bad is going to happen soon, because I feel like the powers that be, I feel like they're losing control of the flow of information because of the internet. And I think that's a pretty big deal. But taking control of these websites at least gives them some leverage as far as like controlling the flow of information. We saw a lot of that during COVID-19. I'm not gonna get into that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. By 35, you should just you should just pay, bro. Mm-mm. I'm not a trick. I am not a trick. Now, I'm not against guys tricking. It just is not for me. I've explained it several times why I don't trick, or why I wouldn't trick, at least not directly. There's the whole line now. All men pay for sex. Money, energy is that, like, I get it, right? But it is a difference, because at least when you go about it the normal way, you have the opportunity of finding a girl that you can actually establish a connection with, beyond just the transactional side of it. It's always going to be transactional to a certain extent. I'm just saying, like, you can like find someone where that's not the absolute base of it, right? You have the better chance of finding somebody that you can at least respect, and someone that might respect you. I feel like tricking is really just negotiating with terrorists. Right? That's really what it is. It's basically accepting that, you know, women don't like you, and you don't really like them, as far as like the state of modern women. And so you're just getting the bullshit out of the way. And again, I'm not against it. If you want to trick, go for it. But I don't know. It's like some people don't get why a guy would want to trick. And I always use this example. You know, if I told you that I don't want to pay niggas to be my friend, you would get that. So why don't people get that I don't want to pay bitches to pretend they want to fucking like me? To me, it's the same thing. Except in one scenario, you're getting like friendship or fake friendship from friends. In the other scenario, you're getting sex from women. But I don't have any value or appreciation for like those types of like fake relationships. Basically, I'd rather be a virgin. You know, I'd rather take that money that I would use on a bitch and give it to you guys. I would give it to you, unruly, before I give it to a bitch. I would give it to you. If I had $200 and they said give it to a bitch for pussy or give it to unruly simply because he showed up in your chat or subscribed, I would give it to you. You mean more to me than a bad bitch trying to sell me pussy for $200. You mean more to me because you're probably subscribed and you might have liked this. You did something. You hear. Shit, you here listening, so I would give you that money before I trick off. In fact, one of my friends just got out of prison. Right, he a wild one. I'm going to tell you, he wild, but he a childhood friend, and I had some money left over that I was gonna like put up, but I saw him walk down the street and I knew he had just got out, so I picked him up, and he had already found a job and all that. So it ain't like he was out here just straight struggling. But I threw him like $50, like just on the strength of our friendship. And he appreciated that shit so much, bro. Like I could have took that $50 and got my dick sucked from like a crack whore off the street. But again, for what? Like fuck them bitches, bro. I would give that money to a friend or a family member, my mama or something, before I give it to a bitch, bro. Fuck that. That's another reason why I can't trick. Because my mind just don't even work like that, bro. It's like I would give that money to somebody that I actually know before I give it to a stupid ass bitch selling pussy. Fuck them hoes. Chad Marco is into MILFs. I mean, it's not that. There are some attractive older women out there. It's not many. It's not many, man. Like women look rough after a certain age. They start getting rough. I'm just saying, man, they get real rough. So the amount that are gonna look good past a certain age is not many. It's not, and I'm not even saying like they gotta look like they in their 20s still or something like that. Like there are, oh man, I was at work and I saw this older lady that she was a customer, and dude, she could have been like 50. She could have been about 50, but I was like, damn, like, like she looked all right. I thought about hollering, not for real, but like, just like just giving the older woman a compliment or something like that. I'm not scared of older women, so that would have been easy. I'm scared of the girls I actually like are like very attractive. I could have threw her a compliment, but in general, yeah, it ain't too many. It ain't too many older women that are gonna still be attractive, and then they gonna have kids and shit like that. Nah. 20s they have many options. 30s have not many options. Well, not as many, but yeah, 20s, bruh. Whoo, whoo, boy, you in for it. Not gonna lie, the ugly old hack works. Get a girl hardly good enough if she is really bad looking, old. She will love you more than anything else in the world because you're all she can get. Yeah. I think I think that's why that the ugly girl at the gym, I think that's why we were kind of a good match. I hate to put it because I think to her, she probably saw me as being like an upgrade, right? I think that's why we had good chemistry because you could say I'm like a 5, maybe a 6 on a good day, but she was like a 3 or a 4. Only redeeming quality was that she just not fat, right? Because I had seen her working in there before, and I was like, I can't do nothing with that, right? But we kept talking, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, she cool as a motherfucker," and I started to like that little ugly girl. But I think the reason why, like, the chemistry part of it was so good was because, like, I think, like, I could be wrong, but I felt like she had a high attraction to me because of the gap in attraction in attractiveness, right? So if I feel like she probably saw me as like a at least a 6, so I think that's why it was a good vibe between us because she was being like super friendly, and whatnot. But she had already had a boyfriend, so it's whatever. Do you think the hacker known as 4chan, the hacker known as 4chan, would get revenge for this? Not him, but Sam Hyde is definitely somehow involved. He was on Bang Bus. I think I seen that too. Nobody really likes what 4chan has become, so I doubt that anyone will retaliate. Everyone in the West is a looter and is just trying to get as much as they can before the system burns. That, yeah, dude, I got that same vibe, bro. I get that same vibe. Like, don't you feel it that something really bad is about to happen? Don't you feel it, bro? Like, that's why I'm glad I got this job right now. I'm saving some money. I'm buying a couple things that I might need for the apocalypse. But I got a bad feeling, bro. Like, I feel like something almost has to happen soonish. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I feel like something really has to happen. And I feel like it's going to be orchestrated by our government and different governments around the world. And I think it's in at least in part due to, like I said before, how they've lost control of the flow of information. Like, when you think about how dependent people used to be on mainstream media for all their news and information, and how people weren't really able to communicate with one another the way we can now, that's a big loss, for the power that the government would prefer to have over us, over the people. And when you look, like, you're seeing in countries like Germany and Great Britain, where the police are coming to people's doors and coming, like, locking people up over stuff they posted online, and not stuff where it's like they're saying, "Oh, let's burn this down," or like not even like threats of violence, but just like hate speech and misinformation, or like people getting locked up for posting stuff like that online in these countries, bro. And that's what they want for us. And see, this is the thing that you got to think about too, right? You notice how America has its hands in trying to influence different countries around the world, right? Like, they'll try to promote different agendas, like they'll promote trans agendas and whatnot. You notice that they never promote, like, freedom of speech or like a Second Amendment right. You notice, like, they don't push hard for shit like that. They might push for democracy, but that's really so they can get their own puppet government. Right? Let's be honest. That's really so they can put in a government that they can control. So the fucking CIA can switch out the regime to one that's going to be more friendly to America, or at least basically be under America's control. Like, that's where we are now, bro. Like, and but again, I feel like something bad has to, like, some crazy shit got to happen. Some crazy shit got to really happen, because like the amount of control that they've lost in terms of like information is really devastating if you think about it. Looters. Brooke Baldwin told me the hacker known as for. I thought you were really gonna say something serious. God. Only gay people can be nice. That's hetero. But no, it was just like a level of niceness that entered into like fruity territory. it was just like suspiciously nice. Right? Like, what's up with this guy? Just suspiciously nice, bro. It was just a weird vibe about him. But it's funny because my gut feeling was right. That's what's interesting about that. I had a bad feeling about it. As nice as he was. I had a bad and I could see it in his eyes. Like it was just something off. Just something off about that dude. Just really off. It's not a real honeypot, but more a petri dish for psyop. See that made sense. That made sense. So like they could go to 4chan and just start spreading like a fake conspiracy, or they could create threads to try to influence people or whatever. Something like just to how can we influence people to think this way or to do this? And maybe and this it could be something like for just as an example, and I'm not saying that this happened, but it's a possibility, like trying to influence the next mass shooter or something like that. Because it's like when you think about that guy, remember that guy that shot up or killed those Muslims? Where was it? Was it Sweden or New Zealand? I forgot where it was. But the guy who had killed those Muslims, and he live streamed it with the GoPro or recorded it with the GoPro and all that. And based on his manifesto, like there were people, I forgot the exact connection, but I think like there was like a vague connection between his manifesto and 4chan and stuff like that. Now I'm not saying that he was psyoped by 4chan. No, it was 8chan, wasn't it? Wasn't like 8chan mentioned in his manifesto or something? It was one of them though. But that's kind of what I'm thinking is one of the possibilities could be like to influence people to commit acts of violence, and then with that you can do several things, right? When you have somebody committing extreme acts of violence, especially like with firearms, now you have more fuel for the anti-gun debate, right? Oh, we need to ban these AR-15s. We need to ban stricter background checks. Again, I'm just throwing shit out there, like just different possibilities as far as like what the intent behind the psyop could be. Like, what are you trying to get people to believe? How are you trying to alter people's perceptions? What do you want people to think? What do you want people to do that's so important that you're holding up this strange website? And data mining. Oh yeah, that one is obvious. Data mining. Hey guys, post your age, your race, your sexuality, the grade that you graduated, high school, right? Your education level. What age did you lose your virginity? Your favorite book. I mean, you see threads like that all the time. All the time. And I was in them too. 4chan was organic, and then it got taken over like most good things in the culture. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was, more real, as you might say, during the moot days, but especially like those early days. I remember when I found 4chan, that was during the Boxy era. When Boxy took over B, that's when I had basically got into the 4chaning. That's how far back I go. The fucking Boxy days. When Bailey J was Lying Trap way back. The government are parasites, so they cannot create anything good, but they can sure find things that are good, control it, and subvert it. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a handful of people that have so much control over, the millions of people that they govern. I mean, and it's just one thing I'm starting to realize though is like just how compromised our whole government is, bro. Like it's amazing. Like when you realize that they really aren't acting in our best interest. Like they really don't give a fuck about us. But it kind of makes sense when you look at it from the perspective of the elites because the real power lies with the people. If at any moment the people just decide, fuck this, we're not gonna take it, whatever that might mean, that's it. So it's like you gotta set up barriers and ways to keep the people under control. Because if you don't, then they gonna come, man, heads gonna roll. Put it like that. Heads gonna roll, right? I mean, you seen what happened in some of those Middle Eastern countries, like the people like Gaddafi, even though there's a lot of like CIA American involvement in that, but they basically set him up for failure, and then the people got their hands on him, and they putting fucking daggers up his ass. They don't want to go out like that, so they got to set up those barriers and those walls, and they got to keep people sick and distracted and broke. I mean, and it's interesting. Um, I read the book 1984. Actually, I listened to it while I was at work. But there's a part in the book where the main character he gets his hands on a book that describes the methods and the plans of the party, which is like the authoritarian government that the people live under. And one of the things they talk about in that book is how the government, what they would do intentionally was that they always made sure that they stay involved in wars because they needed to find a way to use up excess resources. They didn't want those extra or excess resources to go out to the people. You don't want people to have abundance. You don't want people to have too like basically you don't want people to have so much luxury to where they have time to think and to organize and to do things, right? You got to keep people under pressure. So it's like as pissed off as you are about the state of the government, man, you got 3 kids. You got to show up to work. The taxes are high. Inflation is crazy. Like, who got time to think about how they're going to, take back the government or change things for the better? You don't even got time in the mental. Like, life is so stressful that you don't really have the time to do. But basically, that's what the book talks about. And I feel like, we can see that reflected in our reality today. America always involved in some war in the Middle East or some bullshit like that. I mean, you look at the money, and then all those programs that they cut out. The Doge team and how they gutted all these government programs. They were sending millions of dollars to promote agendas and bullshit in different countries. Like, think about that money was actually invested into our country, but of course, then people would actually be healthier and happier and have more. It wouldn't. So basically, life is a bitch. That's what I'm saying here. Chad Marco's mom talking about the deep state. Yeah, I can't believe it. I think back to those days where every day, oh my God, bro, when Obama was president, it was CNN every day. Oh my God. I don't think my mom was really interested in politics until Obama became president, you know. But at least now she's kind of plugged into alternative media sources. So she has a better idea of what's going on. Basically, what I'm saying is it's about creating chaos so that you never know what is true and what isn't. It's all about creating distractions and feeding people's neurosis. Yeah, you're right. Because that's exactly what I feel. You're right. And you know what? They got me because I'm confused. Nah, I mean, real talk though, like that's how I feel these days. You know, even as someone that's kind of plugged into the alternative media space, it's like even within that, I don't know who I can really trust or who I should listen to. I try to listen like different voices and whatnot, you know, just to have like balanced perspective. But yeah, like that's exactly how I've been feeling, right? Like I can't even lie. Like it's a state of confusion. It's chaos. Damn. Whoa. Nah, you hit the nail on the head with that one because I can see that even with myself. And if I'm feeling it, then I know a lot of other people are kind of feeling that way as well. You know, there was a time where, I mean, let's be honest, you felt like you were in the know if you were watching the Joe Rogan podcast. Right? Like, oh yeah, oh now I know who killed JFK. Now I know the truth about the moon landing, but now you got like the alternative media space has expanded so much, and then you have the infighting, and then you find out about like for instance, Tim Pool and his crew, and then it came out that they had like connections to like Russia or something, where like they were being paid. Again, I didn't dig too deep into that, but that's one of those things where you find out about that. Like if you're a Tim Pool watcher, oh, I love Tim Pool, and then you find out, oh, he's like being funded by you know, this group or that group, and then it's like, wait a minute, and if I can't trust him, then what? Right? And now, you look at someone like Alex Jones and how he's been dick riding Trump so hard, and not really, just not giving like him any sort of like real criticism. Then you start questioning Alex Jones. Like, what? How is Alex Jones a clone? Right? So it's definitely like a lot of confusion going on. Your mom watches Dr. Umar. Yes. Yeah. Not just him, she watches like Louis Farrakhan, different, all types of stuff these days. But I kind of like Dr. Umar. He says some he has some good talking points here and there. I think the main thing I disagree with him on is just like how he's so adamantly against interracial dating and whatnot. That's the one. I actually put Dr. Umar, or I had a Dr. Umar bar in the song I just made. Um I like snow bunnies. Don't tell Dr. Umar. No KFC for me at White Castle like on Kumar. I had to drop a Dr. Umar bar for my latest track. That shit is dope too. That shit is really dope. That might be like my new favorite song on the Robot Music album coming soon. Just when I thought I couldn't outdo myself. ever since 2019, YouTube has become cable TV. Basically, it is mostly controlled. You can find, the like if if you're willing to look for it, you can find good channels that aren't controlled, but they're not promoted. They're not promoted. They're not gonna be in the algorithm. Like my favorite streamer is Coach Greg Adams. I think he's one of the best guys doing it in the manosphere and the red pill to this day. But and like you watch him and like his channel was like go like the subscribers like going up rapidly and then it just stop and then he gets demonetized and shit like that. So if you know about him, then you'll check him out, you'll watch him and shit. But YouTube isn't going to be promoting him because I guess they've like designated him as being like problematic or something. But I feel like that's kind of an example of like a good YouTuber that gives good information to young men, especially talks about women, but also what's going on in terms of the government, finances, crypto, all types of shit. But he doesn't. Again, the algorithm doesn't favor him, and I think that's where the control comes in, right? Like you can start rising. Even my own channel. Like I remember, like there was a point where my channel was just like and then just stop. And then it's been kind of slow ever since. It's like once the fucking system recognizes you as a threat or someone that's going against the grain, not even like a threat. Like ain't like we're gonna do nothing crazy, but just not just going against the grain. I guess it recognizes that, and then the algorithm just isn't going to favor you, right? Now I'm sure if I was sitting here making PC content, politically correct content, imagine me making like politically correct like left wing content or something, bruh. I probably had like 50,000 subscribers by now, minimum, bruh, minimum. Oh man, this pretty face, but without all the conspiracies and shit, man, I really will be making some money. This is why people sell their soul because they realize like, damn, bro, I be getting them damn $5,000 YouTube checks every month. I just gotta sell out. They don't care that you know what's going on. We don't give a fuck because you ain't gonna do anything. Like knowing only goes so far. Knowing only goes so far. That's the thing about it too, right? Like knowing is good, but it only goes so far. Like I feel like my honest opinion, I think that we're fucked to be honest. I think that we're fucked um because when you look at it, all of the major agendas or most of the major agendas that the governments obviously want to push, like they're just moving forward like rapidly, and nothing is being done to stop it. And you look at like America, for instance, you look at our Congress, our government, like it's completely controlled. Like it is like the control is so deep and thorough, bro. And then the bigger issue is just like how divided the people are. People are divided and weighed down by the stresses and demands of everyday living. It's just yeah. But yeah, um I think that unfortunately things are gonna get a lot worse before they get better, if they get better. I think that's the road that we're on. because these agendas are moving forward so fast, and we're not having any real victories at all. Like no, it's L lost, 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 lost. Just think about it. It's constant L's. When have we really gotten like good, like really good news, bro? Like every new law and policy that we see is like more like losing something, like something being banned, another restriction. It's always something bad. Like what's the last thing that happened in terms of policy or law that was like, yeah, this is really good, really good. And you might be able to find one, two, but then I'll weigh that against the 100 that were bad. My goal, I guess, for my life is just to enjoy it the best I can. I talked about this before, but there's that YouTuber, Aaron Clary, and he always talks about how America and the West is going through an inevitable decline, but at the very least, we're living in the in between stage where there's still the possibility to um, carve out a good life for yourself and your family and enjoy life, but it's only going to get worse from here. And based on what I see, that does seem to be the case. I'm too paranoid. Oh, what's up, Thumb Ugly? Didn't see you there. I'm too paranoid. I don't know which are tricking freely or forced. I don't know which are sting OP. I can't trust them not to honey trap. Monk mode for me. Yeah, monk mode is the best option. Right. We monk moding over here. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Monk mode is the best option for sure. Less trouble. You just gotta figure out how to be happy within yourself. That's the hard part. But I think guys should do that even if you want a wife and kids someday. You need to figure that shit out for sure. You need to figure that shit out for sure. But yeah, tricking is can be dangerous. Pimps setting up tricks, and then you do got stings and whatnot. But it's I don't know. I don't know. Like you got to. I think the best thing to do if you want a trick, if I wanted to trick, I'm gonna find a trick, and then I'm gonna get him to mentor me. I think like don't try to trick on your own. I'll put it like that. Don't try to trick on your like Coach Greg Adams. He's an admitted trick. He's a trick, and he stands on his tricking. If I wanted to trick, I would go to him. I would join his Patreon or whatever he got locals, where he communicates with his fans and whatnot. I would go there and, but how do I trick? What do I do? What are the websites? What's the game? But again, that ain't for me. But if I had to recommend tricking, I think that's what you need. You got to do. You need to find a trick mentor to show you the rope. Somebody with experience in tricking who can like give you the game on that. Don't try to do it by yourself. That's yeah. Do not try to do that shit by yourself. I definitely recommend that. Oh damn. Ooh. Whoa. I was that far behind? Shit. Oh man, I'm never gonna catch up. I'm never gonna catch up. Oh well. They need to hire me in the psyop department. What would your psyop be? What would your goal be? Richard hoping he gets doxxed in the hack so he can get a job offer. Pussy is more valued than another man's friendship. Nah. I mean, I guess but now you're talking about something where a lot of variables. You're talking about a lot of like, what do we, right? What are we talking about here? Like when you say pussy, you could be meaning like pussy with girlfriend, wife. Now you're making an argument, but you talking like just buying pussy? Nah. Nah. I'd rather take that money and give it to a homeless person. Well, again, I guess it depends on your value system, though, right? But with my internal value system, no, I can't agree with that. I would say giving a homeless person $200 has more value than buying pussy. For me, to me, I would say that's more valuable. Because if I'm buying pussy, what am I doing? I'm negotiating with terrorists. I'm giving a woman that hates me money for sex. She don't like me. She hate me. She's disgusted by me, right? it's See, I think the only way you can think like that is you're completely looking at it in terms of like the physical pleasure aspect of it. You're not looking at the energies underneath it, and that's what I look at. The underlying energies of it are so negative. If you were not giving her money, she wouldn't deal with you in any capacity. If and to be fair, she would probably, if her pimp wanted to set you up to get robbed, if she got a pimp, she would probably do that. Right? So nah. It's like I remember what my friend. I always remember what he told me after he got back from college. My friend, he said, out of all the women I dealt with in college, all the women I had sex with, all that shit, there's not one that I can call for a favor. Now think about that. That's now when my friend ended up getting kicked, like he was in an apartment with his girlfriend and they had a falling out. She called the police on him and he had to leave. Where did he go? He slept on a friend's couch. A friend, not a woman, not pussy. It was a home, not me, because he was somewhere else. but it was a homie that put him up on the couch. And then when he came back down here, it was his parents that took him back in. Right? And then later on we had that conversation and he told me, he was like, out of all the girls I dealt with, there's not one. And so you got to think about that, right? As a man goes through life and you deal with different women and those relationships come and go, how many of them can you call and be like, I need $100? Right? She can't give you 100. She's by that point she's dating somebody else or doing something else. Now, if y'all have like a friends with benefits situation, or you were the ex that just dicked her down like crazy, maybe, right? But it's just like what I told you about my friend that got out of prison. When I gave him that $50, he said, "I love you, man. Nobody never done nothing like that for me." Right? Like that's real shit right there, bro. Like that's real. Like those are the type of moments that mean something in life. Not paying a bitch that don't like you for sex. Fuck that shit. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit, bro. It's fun. I'm sure it's fun, right? But as far as like substance, interactions, and moments with people that mean something, that meant something to him. Nobody ever did nothing like that for me, bro. I love you. That was like that was that was the type of interaction. That's where I'd rather put my money in. So hell yeah, fuck that bullshit. But again, if you want to trick, do that. I'm not against. I get it. I get tricking. I'm not. For all that being said, I get it. It's hard. It's hard out here for regular niggas. Most of y'all gonna hack the trick. So I get it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying I don't do it. I'm not going to get into it here, but there's a lot of occult religious reasons behind the actions of people higher up the chain. I've heard that. Now that's kind of where my knowledge hits the wall. I've heard about stuff like that, but like with me, and I guess like this is where I need to kind of brush up on my knowledge because I'm not really into like the spiritual side of things. Right? When you start talking about like the occult, tarot cards and demons, I get lost at that level, right? But I'm starting to realize that I need to be open to at least researching and taking these kind of things into consideration. And I think it's because I'm agnostic, or some would say an atheist. So I'm not really into like, again, I think that's why I'm not really into like the spiritual side of things, because I'm not really a religious person. Religious people are probably more likely to take notice of like that level, that side of the conversation, But when people start talking about a cult and what, like, I'm gone, right? I'm out of that conversation. I'm out of that one right there. But I think part of it too for me is because I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and they always told us to stay away from the occult, and that kind of rubbed off on me too. So even though I never took to the religion, the fact that that was kind of programmed into me, I don't I feel weird about even looking into stuff like that. Kind of like it's opening Pandora's box, right? Um like bruh, like let me tell you, I went to Books a Million and I saw a Ouija board in there, right? And I just thought, I said, dude, if I bought this Ouija board and brought it into my mom's house, like, bruh, like, it's no way she would tolerate that. Like, I could probably have a brick of cocaine in this house before I could bring a Ouija board. So I think some of that kind of rubbed off on me too. So it's like it's kind of a mix of both, where I'm not really spiritual, but also I was taught not to dive into those waters, right? But I should a little bit. Even now I don't want to. I'm scared. When I was a virgin, I was so eager to throw it away on the first slut I could. It was so disappointing. I thought about Minecrafting for 3 weeks. Is this really what I waited for? Yeah, I hear that a lot, It's not really often that I hear people having a great time with losing their virginity, though. But at the same time, it does seem like a lot of guys throw it away. And I'm really glad I didn't throw mine away. Not saying that it's like I expect it to be like this mind-blowing experience or anything. But there is a such thing as quality of experiences, right? It's like if it your first time smoking weed, if you smoke mid versus, some loud, super stupid, fruity, fresh out the dispensary, right? Like Kai sent it the first. Now I'm not sure if this was cap or not, but he did a stream where they were saying that it was his first time getting high, and he was smoking with Snoop Dogg. Right now, imagine Your first time getting high, you smoking the highest quality, the highest grade weed with Snoop Dogg hot boxing in the car, versus smoking some mid alone in the backyard or some shit like that, right? That's what fucking the fat girl is like. Smoking mid in the backyard. I would imagine. But, you know, the what I feel good about in terms of still being a virgin is that if I ever lose my virginity, I at least have the opportunity to lose it the way I want to, right? With the girl I want to. It won't be an act of desperation or settling. It'll be I like this girl. Um I'm attracted to her. We got a good connection. I feel good about, you know, I mean, this makes me sound so soft and and I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit too much of a romantic at heart, but I'm just saying that again, I have the opportunity to have a better experience than guys who say I'm gonna fuck a drunk fat bitch at the party. You know, I have the chance to have my first time with a girl that you know I like and respect, and I think that's I'm not expecting it to be fireworks or like, whoa, mind blown. But I expect it to be better than fucking the fat bitch. you know? Having your first time with a girl you wanted to be with versus the fat girl that you settled for, it's got to be a difference. That's all I'm saying. It's got to be a little different. At least this much. I'll take that. I'll take that. Later, I had a decent one here and there, but it always felt hollow. It was like I had more emotional attachment than the chicks. Ooh, whoa, damn. I might run into that problem too. I might run into that problem. That's what you know. What? That's one thing I've kind of worried about. Right? Is like if like the first girl that I'm with, I might end up being more attached to her than she is to me because I don't expect to get with a virgin. I would expect any girl I get with probably been with at least a few dudes. Just being realistic, and I think I'm probably more likely to be more attached. Yeah, but I think that's in general when you think about it. Not just based on experience, but also options. The way girls just tend to have so many options. I think that's part of why they're not as attached to. Because for a guy, if I get a one girl, that means that I had to fight and struggle right through the desert to get that bitch. But for the girl, it's just let me. She's just picking out of the group, so it's nothing to her, and then she can replace me like it's nothing. So you know, I've always talked about that though, and it's something to keep in mind. I think guys got to realize that the way you feel about her probably ain't just the way she feels about you. You probably appreciate her a lot more because you had to work to get her. You barely got her. She was the one girl you could get, but for her, you were just the guy out of many that she selected. So she don't see you the way you see her. To you, she's special, but to her, you're just again replaceable. I'm not trying to like be too pessimistic here, but come on. I mean, you got to put yourself in her shoes. Like, if you got hundreds of female options, and you just like, yeah, okay, let me get this one, right? And then no matter what, that those options are waiting for you. If this doesn't work out, so it's like if she do anything that you don't like, then you can just kind of toss her to the side. I think anyone over the age of 30 should definitely throw it away because the older you get, the less sensitive your penis becomes. I ain't got to that point yet. I think my libido might be going down though because it's becoming easier to do no fap, right? So that might be a thing. Like I definitely don't masturbate as much as I used to, but I can get it in. Don't get it twisted. I make time for it. I can definitely get it in. New Zealand Christchurch, that was the one. What was the connection between that guy and 8chan though? Or was there? Or am I getting him mistaken with somebody else? Chad, you're right. Something's coming. I wonder if the receipts are getting too hard to hide or hell, an asteroid. I don't know. Like, don't you like I know it's not just me. Like I feel it like almost like something has to happen, bro. Like some like it's too many people that are waking up that are realizing certain things about our reality and our government and things like that. It just, I don't think the government is going to be able to keep like controlling and fooling people like using the same strategies. Like I think the strategy they've been using is kind of outdated. I think they got to do something drastic, like again, like a world war or chemical warfare, like you know, making a virus, kind of like what you saw in the beginning of Deus Ex, where they manufactured a virus, spread it around, and then had a cure, but then only like certain people could get access to it. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Maybe it's an asteroid. Maybe Jesus is gonna show up. I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like we can't keep going the direction that we're headed without some sort of calamity, you know? That's just how I feel. It's like something really crazy is gonna happen within the next couple of years, if not sooner. Christchurch mentioned 8chan. Okay. Okay. And so I was just thinking, like, again, maybe that was a psyop. You know, let's how many of these bozos can we get to do some crazy shit IRL, you know? Like basically radicalizing people, you know? Like when you go to these websites and you're seeing what's happening, like you're learning the truth about what's happening to your country and how the government what the government is doing, and like I can see how he would have gotten radicalized to feel like I gotta do something. Like I can, you know, now obviously what he did was terrible, but you can see how what you see on a place like 8chan or Poll can contribute to the radicalization of a man's mind, you know, and to frustrate you into doing something completely heinous. I can see it. I can see it. Definitely, it's gonna be more than 8chan though, right? But I can definitely see how that will add fuel to the fire. 4chan is a good place for their ops to germinate. It's not about getting people to think something specific. It's about making it impossible for them to perceive reality. It's a psychological form of shock and awe. So it's not about what it. I don't give a fuck what you think, as long as you're not thinking accurately. Basically, as long as you're not seeing like you can have 99 different perspectives, just don't have the one that's accurate. Basically, paralyze the enemy's perception of the battlefield and destroy their will to fight. Damn. You might be psyoping me right now. I'm mostly alert, but I gotta go. Thanks for talking with me, chat. Goodbye, just see your thumb. Yeah, I'm about to go soon too. I ain't mean to be here about damn 3 hours and shit. Trust no one, not even yourself. God, that's a classic. I can't trust myself. Damn. I get it though. But they also say giving people bread and circuses will distract them because life is too comfortable. So which is it? Preoccupy the population with comfort or stress? Bread and circuses is old world logic, aka pre-World War One. A new world was born after World War One. A world war. See, I got lost there. That was the exact opposite of the one before it. Yeah, bread and circuses. That's like that's what Rome. I mean, you could say that it applies to some extent because I think we still are distracted by like video games and Super Bowls and Kendrick Lamar beefing with Drake. Think about how much time people waste worrying about shit like that. People debating uh, fucking imaginary battles between Dragon Ball Z characters and shit, right? So bread and circuses is definitely I think relevant or at least alive today, but um you got to also think about the importance of like just putting pressure on people too, right? In terms of like the pressure to survive and things like that. Like just for instance, it's like let's say you want to be prepared for what might happen, right? So you're smart and you're going to say, well, I'm going to use my money and I'm going to buy organic food, healthy food, because I found out about, the toxic chemicals in the food. How many people can actually afford to buy pasture raised eggs every 2 days? Right? Now that we know about not know about but with the egg prices going up and shit like that or just general inflation, how many people can afford to eat the right foods now that we know about all the bad stuff that's in junk food or processed foods and things like that? That's part of that pressure. So inflation, grocery prices go up. You can't even afford to eat organic or the healthiest foods anymore. And so you're more likely to eat less healthier foods. So you don't feel as good. You're less healthy. You're more dependent on the doctors and big pharma. You diabetic. You got high blood pressure. Right? Pressure. Right? I can't rebel because I got my damn foot cut off because I'm a hyper diabetic. Right? Some shit like that. Or you might be thinking, you know, I want to build a bunker for my family. Wait, you can't afford it. I want to buy guns and ammo. Wait, you can't afford it. The bills showed up. So it's that's part of that pressure though. So I think really it's almost like a pincer attack. It's the distraction of the bread and circus. Again, movies, pop culture, sports, video games, whatever, sex. But then it's also the pressures of the demands of living. Taxes, paying bill, carbon taxes, just inventing shit. Carbon taxes, inheritance taxes, stuff like property taxes, car taxes, taxes on top of the taxes, sale taxes, your breed taxes, hat taxes, black taxes. And so that's how I see it. It's like it's a pincer attack. You're distracted and you also are overwhelmed with the pressures of having to survive and just having to live and being to able to pay your bills and afford things, you know like I've really to look at it in a different way. They don't want us happy and prospering and thriving, and I think that's part of it too. I think they really want people operating at a lower vibration. They don't want you happy. They don't want you living in abundance. They don't want you having easy access to healthier foods and things like that. That's not what they. That's not even what they want. They want you all fucked up. Chad Marco doesn't like black women. I like black women in terms of their physical attractiveness, but I also think that by every other metric they fall behind. They fall, I'll just put it like that. But physically, I love black women. And it used to be I didn't really feel like that, but I started watching like a lot of black porn and it hit me like, damn, I want one of them. I want one of them. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard getting black women as an Oreo. You know, a black guy that kind of act whitish or goofy, however you want to slice it. It's hard. It's difficult because I feel like black girls are probably some of the least receptive to guys like me, you know. And it could be just be like my environment too, but I feel like that's part of the problem. I think like I don't think any race of girl dislikes goofy guys more than black women. And I think it's because black women tend to like the polar opposite, right? The thug, the hard guy, the bad boy, street dude, scammer, shit like that. Like the goofy is the exact opposite of that. So I'm fucked up. I'm fucked in that department. YouTube is full of nepo babies and feds. Nepo babies. You saying like people who like what maybe they had like famous parents or something and maybe that helped them blow up on YouTube. Be a leftist YouTuber and give people false hope. Oh man, I can see the money already. I see it. Like I just, I can see them. Oh my god. Oh, I see them damn $2,600 YouTube checks coming in already. I see it. I got too much integrity to sell out. So I'm gonna be broke for a while. The newest grift is making left wing content. Make a video talking about why X person deserves their downfall, like every other soulless bot on this website. Yep. The downfall of Logan Paul. The downfall of Kai Cenat. The downfall of Donald Trump. Why I hate Donald Trump. I did make an anti Donald Trump video the other day. The fake victories of Donald Trump. I was very proud of that. It's pretty good. Your friend can't call his exes for a favor, not even if that favor is sex. Now I see what you're saying, but it depends on your situation. Cause everybody, cause you gotta think about it, bro. Like, let's say you dealt with a girl 6 months ago, and now you don't. You need a favor. In that 6 months, she's dealing with other guys. She's not just sitting around not fucking. She ain't just sitting around not fucking, bro. Now, going back to my friend, this is kind of interesting. Um, Now he was dealing with different girls, but there was one girl that was his main girlfriend, and she was the one that like kicked him out of the apartment, basically. But when he moved back down here after that problem, they got back in contact with each other, right? But them getting back in contact, she was basically using him for money. So it wasn't like he was calling her, oh, I need this, I need that. Like they would hook up every now and then, but she was basically using him as, to pay for certain things. Like I think he made a down payment on her car or something like that, or some simp trick ass shit like that. And worst of all, he found out, like he went over to her house one time and he found a condom in her trash can or something. Now he never used the condom, so he knew that it wasn't his. So basically, it's like he was able to reconnect with his ex, but it was based on him doing favors for her, and she was still dealing with other guys. So, but the point is, it's like the reason why what he said is so real is because for the most part, if you are getting anything from a girl, it's because you guys are in a relationship, right? Once that relationship is over, she's probably going to move on pretty fast because girls, they got to act fast. They got a lot of options. They're not going to be single for long. So if you try to go back to get her, especially to get a favor, how could she give you a favor? Like that wouldn't even really be appropriate if she got a boyfriend now, right? And see, that's the fundamental difference between like family and friends and lovers and shit like that. Because it's like, if you're my friend, me having a girlfriend or not doesn't change the fact that you're my friend. Now, some guys, they'll switch up. But I can have a girlfriend and then you come to me and be like, man, if I don't get $300 on this on my rent, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be on the street, bro. I'll pay you back. Boom, I got you. Right? That's friends. But if you go to a girl that you used to mess with and ask the same thing, but she got a boyfriend now, like, I'm not giving you, even if she didn't have a boyfriend, she probably wouldn't give it to you. But the point is, it's just that relationships and bonds between friends and family is fundamentally different from relationships with women. Because typically in relationships with women, one, the expectation is that you're doing the financial favors for her, not the other way around. If you're getting anything, it's going to be sex, intimacy, companionship, shit like that. So if you guys are broken up and you're trying to go back and get something out of her, what is it based on? You're not together anymore. She might have a boyfriend now. And even outside of that, you're supposed to be giving her money. She's supposed to be calling you, asking for a favor. Right? But I just felt like when he said that, it perfectly illustrates the difference between the connections that we have with women versus the connections that we have with our family and our friends. Your friends and your family sometimes they'll always be there, or they'll be there. I can't say like always, because all friends aren't reliable like that. Let's be real, even family. But you're more likely to have a friend or a family member that you can ask for a favor as opposed to the girls that you've dealt with in the past. Because those relationships are about what's then in that moment. Once it's over, it's like, well, you go your way, I go mine. Right? But childhood friends or long time friends, you got good friends, they'll look out for you, as time goes on. That's why it's good to have friends. How many of us have them? I don't have a lot of friends. Now they have $200 to buy crack. I know, Richard, you gave $200 to a crackhead. Let's assume the homeless person was not a crackhead. Let's assume the homeless person was not a crackhead. All right, look, not a homeless person. Um, my mom. I give it to my mom. Boom. That's better. 200 for pussy, 200 for mom pussy. I'm kidding. 200 for mom. I feel better giving it to mom. I'm just saying that, like, dude, tricking just is not for me. In order for me to trick, I gotta be a boyfriend trick. If I'm your boyfriend, then I see you as a friend, as an ally. Like, I don't mind spending money on a girl that I'm dating. Right? That's different. But you know how it is now. People call you a trick because you got a girlfriend and you spend money on her. Like, that's how ridiculous the conversation has gotten. Even though I think it's, the whole idea of all men paying in one way or another. It's important to understand that, because it's definitely some real shit. Because I've seen that. I've definitely seen that. Because basically what happens is sometimes girls, um, yeah, they'll be in a relationship with you, but it's based on, how much you're willing to invest into her. So it's almost like, instead of like paying it's like, instead of paying a one-time fee for the girl, you're renting her. Like, that's what some girlfriends basically are. So it's like, you either pay 100 for one night, or you pay 5,000 over the course of 6 months to a year or something like that, or more, depending on like how much money you're making. Right. So that's the logic there with all men paying. But I think the difference though is that men don't, most men aren't going to mind investing or paying if it's with the girl that they're in a relationship with, because there's a feeling of mutual attraction, respect, things like that. There's a bond there. Terry is in Persona SMT. I mean, yeah, that's my closest relation with spirituality and the occult. Summoning Lucifer in Persona 3. It ain't quite the same as, drawing a pentagram in the middle of the floor and then lighting candles and, chanting some occult ritual or hymn to summon a topa. Right, it's a little bit different. Just playing Persona 3 in my underwear, eating hot noodles. I'm not exactly Aleister Crowley doing that, but I see what you're saying. But what if the fat girl is nice? It ain't enough nice in the world to make up for being fat. I'm just going to tell you. It's some cute fat girls out there though. Don't be surprised if I pull up with a fat bitch. Nah, but the thing is, real shit. The fat girls that I would consider attractive would actually be out of my league, because then you're talking about like basically like the thick fat girls where the fat is in all the right places, and those girls are yeah, they're out of my league basically. Yeah, those girls would be uh those girls would definitely be out of my league. So I'm trying to see if I got like an example. I don't know. Is this fat? Is this right? Okay. I mean, no, no. It should is. Oh, it is. All right. All right. So this, right? This is a fat girl. This is the fat girl that I would love to have. Right? Dude, she is fat. Look at them cankles. This is fat. This is a fat bitch. Look at that arm. But I would try. I would, right? I would go for that. I would go for that. But fat as she is, this is out of my league. So, like, for me to give it a fat bitch, it's got to be something like this. It's got to be something like that. But she's definitely overweight. And I would. But we know when we talking about fat bitches, we talking about sloppy, waddling. You know the girls, when they walk, they like this. They waddling from left to right. I'm talking like sloppy fat. Like, that's what I can't do. The arms sag. Like, the size of my bicep just but going down. Right? Moon pie face, more gut than butt. We talking about that. We ain't talking about girls with the ideal fat distribution, fertility goddesses. Let's be real here. Let's be factual. Okay, so I've been here for 3 hours. I don't want to be here too long, but we had a good old talk. We had a good old chat. If I stay here any longer, it's going to be problems. I knew somebody was going to say that, bro. She's not fat. She's thick. She fat. That bitch fat. But, yeah, she, like, in our community, in the black community, like, we would say, oh, she thick, right? But I'm saying, like, logically, technically, she's definitely overweight. Like, if you took her to a doctor, you take that bitch to a doctor and they get her BMI and her measurements and body fat percentage and stuff, check her cholesterol and blood pressure or sugar, Like, and that's what people don't think about. We see girls like that and we like what we see. But really, the only difference between her and a sloppy fat bitch is where the fat went. If the fat that she had instead accumulated to her stomach and her face, whole different story. Now you looking at her like, oh, this bitch got diabetes and high blood pressure and all this shit. But because it's in the attractive places, you don't look at it like that, right? But I'm just saying, if, when we talk about fat bitches, we gotta always distinguish between, like you said, the thick fat bitches and the sloppy fat bitches. There's a difference. You got thick fat, sloppy fat. Some might even call them whales. But with that being said, that was the stream. I might pop up again this week and whatnot. I'll be on YouTube a bit more. I'm still on Twitch on the weekends for the podcast. There's a link to the Patreon. Give me all your money because I need it. I need to afford a bunker, apparently. World War III. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See you later.